The truth behind love. Once upon a time, there lived a lady named Champabati. She loved her husband very much and often gave advice to others on how to love their husbands. Everyone admired her and she proudly shared tips on being a perfect wife. One day, Champavati went to visit her best friend Kirti. Kirti's husband wasn't home, but she still made delicious food for Champavati. Surprised, Champavati asked, "How can you cook such lovely food when your husband isn't here? What kind of wife are you? I can't even think of doing such a thing." Kirti smiled and said, "My husband knows how much I love him. There's no need for me to show it off. Love is not just in big gestures, it's in the heart." Champavati didn't like Kirti's answer. She felt confused. So, when she went back home, she told her husband everything. Her husband listened quietly but began to wonder, does Champavati really loves me? Or is she just showing off to others? He decided to test her. The next day, he brought home some mutton, Champavati's favorite dish, and said, "I will be back later. Please cook this for us." Champavati happily prepared the mutton and waited for her husband all day. But her husband didn't return. Hours passed, and as evening came, Champavati grew more worried. Finally, her husband came home, but he suddenly collapsed on the floor. Champavati rushed to him, calling his name, but he didn't respond. She thought to herself, "He is dead." She began to cry, but after a moment, a thought crossed her mind. If I cry too loudly, everyone will come and gather. Instead of that, I should eat the mutton while no one's here. So, Champavati wiped her tears, went back inside, and started eating the mutton. Just as she took a bite, her husband caught her hand. Champavati looked at him, shocked and speechless. Her husband, now fully awake, stared at her. She couldn't say anything. She had been caught in the act. From that day on, Champavati stopped advising others on how to love their husbands. She had learned a lesson herself.